All right, hello. It's been a while since I made one of these vlogs, but today the plan is to go over a leg day and then in general talk about flexibility while dieting, how I've had to change up my meal plan from how I wanted to go about it to strategies that I've found useful so far in terms of flexibility, changing up the meal plan, finding ways to be more consistent with it, keeping it sustainable and fun. Now in terms of time frame, I'm feeling as if it's about halfway done, 40 days in, and I've been losing at approximately 1.3 pounds per week on average, like a moving average, pretty consistently. And I think another 40 days is just about the limit for when I'm gonna leave Toronto, where I am right now. And it's just much easier for several reasons to cut here versus back home for me. It's easier to get steps in, can standardize meals more easily. So yeah, but ideally I would also want to include a diet break at the end of the cut and kind of maintain for a bit before going back into a bulk. So maybe not quite another 40 days, but so far in terms of how I've been pushing things, I feel confident in going a bit lower in terms of my deficit. I'm gonna start with upping cardio steps, as you can see, first. So trying to increase the rate of weight loss a bit, and we'll see how that goes. And yeah, so I guess over halfway done, if you're counting that. So another important topic is rest days. And I'm gonna throw up a couple of clips from my last rest day here, just for fun. But really a lesson I think I'm needing to learn, and it's better to learn it preemptively than have injuries pop up because I choose to not take many rest days, especially while cutting. I think it makes sense to take more than one rest day a week, which is what I usually do, just because that allows, again, for a bit more recovery and more time to get cardio in. So moving forward, I am really going to be focusing on not going to the gym so often, honestly. And just that second day a week does make a big difference in terms of how my joints feel and recovery in general. Hi guys, it's rest day and refeed day, coincidentally. I'm going for a nice long walk, so it's not a real rest day. Just still like to get more cardio in on the rest days. You know, don't be completely lazy on your rest days if you can help it. Yeah, it's very nice so far. I'll show the refeed meal later as well. Bulking season for him. Hi guys, we got fried chicken. It's my favorite cheat meal. I eat about half. I log it as like 2,000 calories. Might be way off. It's hard to estimate. It's really good.
Okay, 15%, right? Jump
Guys at once. Just kidding. So first exercise of leg day will be some sort of hip hinge, and specifically hyperextensions are definitely my favorite hip hinge, just because it allows me to bias my erectors more, which are a priority for me at the moment. And the only issue I have with this one in particular is that the dumbbells don't go heavy enough, and loading it up with an easy bar or a barbell doesn't give enough range of motion. So I've had to resort to stacking dumbbells, and that is getting uncomfortable on the hands at this point. So I'm just trying to milk this weight for as much as I can, but they're very fun. And I didn't manage to get footage for these exercises for neck curls and single leg calf raises, which are exercises that I just throw in whenever during my leg day. I just like to superset them with, for example, the hyperextensions or the leg press with a compound movement, because they're so easy to recover from. I can go back and forth, warm up on one while I'm recovering from the other. And yeah, so this time around I did neck curls first, superset with hyperextensions. Sometimes I'll do it with calf raises, you know, whichever one's open, whichever one is more convenient, but I try to prioritize them pretty equally. I might lay off the neck curls for a while though, and focus more on the calves, because I don't think your calves can ever be too big, honestly. And after the hyperextensions, I like to go to a single leg extension. I would do 2 legs at a time if I had a seatbelt for stability and if the weight stack went high enough. But yeah, I don't mind doing the single leg extensions before a leg press. It's a bit of a warm up for the knees, and in general, I'm able to prioritize my quads more and deprioritize my glutes, which I don't really train at the moment. But next bulking cycle, I'll definitely experiment with putting a better quad compound earlier in the session, just because here at the university gym I only have access to a leg press or squats, which I'm not a big fan of. More so the pendulum squat is definitely my preferred machine, but again, I don't have it here, so I have to make do. And after the single leg extensions, the order of the exercises I do, the next 4 exercises, is kind of however I want to do them on that day. It's not so standardized. So in this case, I did a hamstring curl first, the prone hamstring curl, and I do want to start doing a seated hamstring curl because this lying one is the only serious variation I've really done. So I might be leaving some hamstring gains on the table there. But yeah, so I'm at 6 reps for this, like full stack, and I'm trying to keep the tempo slow, get to 10 reps before I consider adding a gym pin or anything like that. Next on this day, I did the hip adduction and abduction. I did 2 sets for the adduction and just 1 set for the abduction usually, just to maintain it, and I'm not trying to grow my glutes at the moment really. But the adduction I am taking more seriously with heavier reps than I used to, just because I haven't for the longest time. So I think there's a lot of muscle that I'm leaving on the table there. And I think, yeah, you should train it seriously if you're serious about it, even dudes. Next I did the ab crunch machine. It's really the only thing I do for abs at the moment, but I do take it seriously. And I think abs are definitely worth training. I'm trying to prioritize them more in my training, just because I don't think abs are only revealed at lower, I mean, they are revealed at lower body fat percentages, but if you've built enough muscle there, they'll still be visible at higher percentages, which is what I'm trying to achieve. And the last grouping of exercises for this day will be a leg press, just 1 leg press set, and calf raises. So for the leg press, I'm only doing 1 set, just trying to acclimate myself to that compound squat pattern again before I start taking the pendulum squat seriously over the summer. And yeah, I'm really trying to control the tempo, get full range of motion. My knees have been kind of sometimes give me issues on this, so that's why I do like to take it light for now and bias the quads as much as possible. Yeah. And finally, I'm at the point now in the cut where I feel like adding a bit more cardio post-workout can really help, just make the deficit easier to handle. So I've started implementing, just starting with 10 minutes right now, just an incline walk, also to train for hiking in the summer, which I'll be doing. So kind of dual purpose there, but yeah, just some light incline walking after the session as well. Okay, now to actually get to the diet portion and talks about flexible dieting. One reason that I've found so far that this diet has been working so well for me is that there's a perfect blend of structure and flexibility in my diet. So on average, I've found that say 80 to 90% of the calories for the day are planned. It's going to be the same foods in approximately the same quantities. So all those calories are kind of set in stone. And what's psychologically nice about that is that I don't have to worry about what I'm gonna eat every single day. Like, there's a certain amount of decision fatigue that sets in if every day you are entirely in this if it fits your macros approach, where you have to constantly kind of calculate, okay, this has this many grams protein, this has this, oh, I can't have too many carbs. If you have most things already set out, then the amount of calculations you have to do all day is just smaller. It's less fatiguing that way. But also, it is nice to have some variety of different foods. If you want to try something one day, a small thing like some snacks, it's not going to be the end of the world, right? You can still fit it into your macros, yeah. And I also think it's highly personalized. So how much structure one is able to handle, how much repetition, if you're a very, structured, routine-oriented person, you might like nearly 100% of your calories, like never going off plan. Maybe you feel, nice about that. There's a certain sense of reward about that. But for me, as long as the weight is moving down, as long as I'm feeling good and performing good, I'm fine with having some flexibility. And my main point is just that diet is very personal, and it might take you some time to figure out where on that spectrum of perfect order to perfect flexibility you are. Because some people might try to be overly restrictive and give themselves 100% structured eating, but over time, if that just leads to you binging and eating everything that you've been wanting to eat in smaller quantities over time, you just eat it all at once, and then your momentum's all messed up, diet's all messed up. So that's why I think preemptively allowing that flexibility can be a good thing. But for some people, again, the decision fatigue sets in, and especially when you're cutting and there's the mental fatigue, you don't feel as mentally sharp. Sometimes you just want to keep it simple. For example, I'll just go over how my diet has been changing. Breakfast, exactly the same. Every morning it's creamy rice and berries. I don't have to think about that. Same with my lunch. It's always turkey and rice. I don't really have to think about that either. Protein amount is where I start. I can kind of change things around. My protein shake post-workout, and then also how I make my omelet in the evening, how many eggs I use, how much egg whites I use, and then the amount of nuts that I eat later in the day for fats. Those are kind of the 4 foods that I most often switch in slight quantities just to make sure I hit my exact goals for protein and for fats, depending on what else I might have eaten in the day. Psychologically as well, in the morning and earlier in the day, I don't think about food as much because I'm actually doing things. But later in the day, when you might be at home, sedentary, or just in general over the day, thoughts come up of food. You might want to allow some flexibility there in the morning. Just keep it simpler. That's what I've found to be working for me. And also progress-wise, I'll just throw up some comparisons of like day 1 versus day of whenever the last vlog was versus today. Overall, I'm very satisfied with my look. It's becoming very distinct, like each week at this point. I'm able to notice body fat changes much more, which is usually the case. As you get leaner and leaner, every pound visually will make such a big difference. And as for next vlog, it'll probably be shoulders and arms, just because that session was the one I had at not my usual gym, not my university gym. So I'll just show all the exercises I do normally for that. Shoulders and arms, which is my favorite session. But besides that, no concrete plan yet. If you happen to be watching up until here and you have any ideas for anything you'd like to see, leave a comment. I'm thinking of making, some simpler educational videos as well. Shorter form, perhaps. We'll see. But yeah, thanks for watching.